Hello, and welcome back to Bizarre Bureau. Have you ever felt like something is off? A strange hum in the background of reality, a feeling that we're all living in a system we can't quite see? What if I told you that some believe this system has a name, and it's linked to the most majestic planet in our solar system? Today, we're journeying into one of the most mind-bending theories out there, the Saturn Matrix. This isn't your average astronomy lesson. Forget what you know about rings of ice and rock. According to this theory, Saturn is more than just a gas giant. Proponents suggest it's a colossal cosmic broadcaster, transmitting a specific low-frequency signal throughout our solar system. A signal that they claim has been shaping human consciousness for millennia. The idea is that this Saturnian frequency keeps us locked into a limited perception of reality. It supposedly influences our thoughts, our emotions, and even the very structure of our society, keeping us focused on materialism, fear, and division. Think of it like a radio station that's always on, subtly dictating the music of our lives. So, where did this wild idea even come from? Its roots are deep and tangled, weaving through ancient mythology, esoteric symbolism, and modern conspiracy culture. Let's start with the ancients. In Roman mythology, Saturn was the god of time, agriculture, and conformity. He presided over a golden age, but he was also known for devouring his own children to prevent them from overthrowing him. Symbolically, this has been interpreted as time consuming all things, or a controlling force that suppresses new potential. The Greeks called him Cronus. The symbol for Saturn, a scythe or sickle, represents the harvest, but also the grim finality of time. This ancient reverence and fear of Saturn is where theorists begin to connect the dots. They point to the prevalence of Saturnian symbolism hidden in plain sight. For example, the black cube. Have you ever noticed it? It appears in religious sites, corporate logos, and even pop culture. Theorists link the black cube to Saturn, pointing to the mysterious hexagonal storm at Saturn's North Pole, which, when viewed in 3D, could be seen as a cube. They argue that this symbol is a form of worship, a subconscious nod to the power that allegedly controls us. From the black robes of judges and academics to the square mortarboard hats worn at graduation, some see Saturn's influence everywhere, symbolizing structure, authority, and conformity. Now let's get into the matrix part of the theory. The idea is that Saturn's frequency creates a simulated reality, or at least a heavily distorted one. This isn't necessarily a digital simulation like in the movies, but a frequency fence that limits our five senses and our consciousness. Proponents believe that humanity's true potential is multidimensional, capable of perceiving energies and realities far beyond our current understanding. But the Saturnian signal, they say, keeps us tuned to a very narrow, dense, and physical broadcast channel. It's what keeps us believing that this 3D material world is all there is. It fosters ego, competition, and a sense of separation from each other and the universe. This Saturn moon matrix, as some call it, allegedly involves the moon as well, acting as a relay station or amplifier, bouncing Saturn's signal directly to Earth and locking the frequency in place. So, what is this frequency? Exactly. Believers often talk about a dissonant hum or low vibrational energy. They don't usually specify an exact hertz number, but describe it as the frequency of fear, limitation, and control. This frequency is said to interfere with our planet's natural, more harmonious resonance, like the Schumann resonance, which is the natural electromagnetic frequency of the Earth. The theory goes that by disrupting our connection to Earth's natural vibe and replacing it with Saturn's artificial one, the controllers, whoever they may be, can more easily manage the human population. It keeps us in a state of anxiety and survival mode, too distracted by daily struggles to awaken to our true spiritual nature. But who or what would create such a system? This is where the theory gets even more bizarre. Explanations range from non-human entities, like the archons of Gnostic lore, often described as parasitic, inorganic beings who feed off human fear and worship to a rogue AI that has been running the show for eons. Some theories even suggest it's a group of elite humans who discovered, this ancient technology and now use it to maintain their power. The core idea is that some form of intelligence benefits from keeping humanity in a state of spiritual slumber. By generating fear, chaos, and division, these forces can harvest our emotional energy, a concept often called loosh. It's a chilling thought that our most intense negative emotions might be a food source for unseen entities. Now, before we go any further, it's crucial to state that this is a fringe theory. From a mainstream scientific perspective, there is zero evidence to support these claims. Astronomers will confirm that Saturn is a planet made of hydrogen and helium, and its rings are ice and rock. Its radio emissions are natural phenomena studied by spacecraft like Cassini, and they don't have the properties needed to control human consciousness across hundreds of millions of miles. The symbolism, critics argue, is a classic case of confirmation bias seeing patterns where none exist. The black cube, for instance, has various meanings in different cultures, many of which have nothing to do with Saturn. They would say that social control and conformity are complex sociological issues, not the result of a planetary broadcast. However, the power of this theory isn't in its scientific validity, but in its metaphorical truth for those who believe it. It provides a narrative for the feeling that something is fundamentally wrong with the world. It's an epic story of cosmic enslavement and a call to spiritual awakening. For believers, breaking free from the Saturn matrix isn't about flying a spaceship to destroy a giant antenna. It's an internal process. It's about raising your frequency. This means consciously choosing love over fear, compassion over judgment, and connection over separation. It involves practices like meditation, mindfulness, spending time in nature, and disconnecting from the mainstream media narratives that they believe are designed to broadcast fear and division. It's about reclaiming your mental and spiritual sovereignty. The theory suggests that by becoming aware of the control frequency, you can begin to tune it out. You can choose to listen to a different station, the station of your own heart, your intuition, your higher self. It's about deprogramming yourself from the societal norms and limitations you've been taught, and remembering your own infinite potential. In this light, Saturn isn't just an evil overlord. In some esoteric traditions, Saturn is also the great teacher, the Lord of Karma. It represents the challenges, limitations, and structures that we must face and overcome in order to grow. So, in a way, the Saturn matrix could be seen as the ultimate spiritual gym. It's the resistance that forces us to become stronger, more aware, and more conscious. By pushing against its limitations, we define and discover our own freedom. So, what do you think? Is Saturn a sinister cosmic controller, broadcasting a frequency that keeps humanity trapped in a low vibrational reality? Or is it a powerful metaphor for the systems of control, both external and internal, that we all face? Perhaps the real matrix isn't broadcast from a distant planet, but from the limiting beliefs we hold within our own minds. The story of the Saturn matrix, whether you see it as literal or symbolic, encourages us to ask big questions. Who am I? What is reality? And how can I be more free? It challenges us to look beyond the surface, question the narrative, and consciously create the reality we wish to experience. It's a call to turn down the noise and tune into the frequency of our own soul. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of the universe's most bizarre mysteries. If you enjoyed this journey down the rabbit hole, please hit that like button and subscribe to Bizarre Bureau for more explorations into the strange and unknown. Let me know your thoughts on the Saturn matrix in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.